When I came up this morning, the building was still standing, man. They didn't waste no time with that, man. They serious about building them condos, huh? It's gonna be sky high. What you gonna pay for rent? One of them condos, you can pay a house note.
There's a lot of change in this neighborhood. Houses are being flipped, new condos are being built. That's what people see.
When people think of Adams Morgan, they think of the nightclubs, the restaurants, the party hours on the weekends. And that's Adams Morgan to them. But there's a lesser known part of Adams Morgan that should be told. It's a story of pain and addiction, but of recovery and redemption.
It started with a bottle in a paper sack, followed by words, the kind you can't take back, and ended with me looking through a window of pain I can't explain it, but everything inside me died, where things aren't what they seem sometimes, where things aren't what they seem.
I was suicidal. And that's what it does to you. Well, that's what it did to me.
I got scars on my arms right now, up and down my arms, scars on my legs from using drugs.
I had to get the drugs before I did anything. It wasn't, my body wouldn't allow me to go through the course of the day without it.
And when my mother died, she told me, say, you better get your life together because your brothers and sisters are not going to take care of you. I was on it when she died. The morning of the funeral, I was uptown trying to buy dope before I went to the funeral.
In my addiction, I was an IV user, and I was shooting heroin in my neck, and my voice was taken from me.
And mind you, it got to a point. At the end of my addiction, I wasn't getting high. I was putting them drugs in me just to feel normal, just so I could walk, so I could feel normal, so I won't be throwing my guts up. You ever had back pain from throwing up?
I couldn't save any money because I was drinking. I had 2 part-time jobs. So what I do is I drink one paycheck and then try to survive 2 weeks on the other.
If I didn't get any help, I would have died. I would have died literally in the streets.
Our philosophy starts by looking at ourselves, where we're coming from and where we're going.
We are recovering addicts who have spiritual, mental, physical, or emotional difficulties. We were self-centered, angry, and critical people.
As a self-help spiritual community, we support each other. We are responsible for our actions and our brothers.
We are here to benefit each other in spiritual growth and awareness, and to acquire trust in oneself so that we may trust others in our lives.
We are here because we realize that drugs have more power over us than we have over them, and that drugs have made our lives unmanageable.
We have made a commitment to change for ourselves for those we love and for those who love us.
No matter how difficult, we will succeed and take our rightful place in our community.
What we've come to be is a spiritual approach to recovery. It isn't exactly that we're trying to end homelessness, but we do want a next placement, a logical next place.
Tell me, what happened to get you to Christ House?
Well, I was an IV drug user, and I got sick. I messed up my groin, so I had to go in the hospital. I didn't have no insurance, nowhere to go, nowhere to stay. And so they sent me to Christ House, the hospital did. And I came on crutches and they bandaged me up real good. Gave me the best health that I can find. The people was just beautiful.
Right.
I stayed in Christ House for about a year because I had to get my toe amputated, and also I had to get a bypass valve on my veins because it wasn't getting no circulation. Since I've been there, I made it to the Kairos program. Got to be a member of Kairos.
I was homeless out there for about a year, and I ran there, broke my ankle in 3 places. I ended up coming to Christ House, and while I was here trying to get well, they asked me, did I want to come to the Kairos program.
Unfortunately, illness can be an awful experience, but it also can be a point in time, a window of opportunity. And sometimes when we're kind of brought to our knees, there is, for some, a few, a chance to reevaluate life in the past and to look in the future with some sense of hope.
Kairos program started in 1992, and what Christ House was doing, they were getting people, getting apartments in the neighborhood so they could stay connected to Christ House by coming back and forth to get your meals and do your program, service work and stuff like that. When the program started getting bigger, they decided to buy Kairos House, and I'm the first member of the Kairos program.
I wanted to experience before I died, waking up without drugs. You know, I had to have a shot of drugs and stuff, but I could never imagine myself without that.
I started using hard drugs in 1968. I was 17 at the time. I turned 18 that summer.
I began using drugs, which have been a major problem throughout my life. I began using drugs, starting with alcohol and marijuana at 12 years old. I continued that until I became 16. Once I became 16, I started shooting heroin. Also in 16, I had committed 2 armed robberies, which was in 1973. I received a 30-year sentence. That 30 years, I did approximately 15 years. Even during my incarceration, I continued to use drugs.
You know, I was in our institutions. I was up in Danbury, Butner, North Carolina, Texarkana, Texas. Went through Petersburg. First time I got on the airplane was a prison plane. I was up in the air, shackled, drinking black coffee with no sugar, and scared as hell.
My first incarceration was from the age of 16 to 31. By the time I came home, 31 to almost 32 years old, I started smoking crack. I subsequently found myself returning and back and forth to jail because of my usage. All told, I have approximately 25 years of incarceration. 55 years old.
Johnny, how's your life different since entering the Kairos program?
My life is 100% different. I'm better. When I moved over here, I had a chance to go in my room and think about a lot of things. And one thing kept coming up. When I was panhandling down by Bend and Lincoln Theater, that's where I was. And this dude came by, gave me $40 and bought me something to eat. And he said, "You didn't fail us, we failed you."
There are two words in Greek for a sense of time. There is chronos, which is measurable time, a minute, an hour, a day, a week. That's chronos time. Kairos time is a different way of measuring time in which there is a moment of enlightenment, a moment when God breaks in and suddenly life is seen in a completely new way and change is possible.
I know what emptiness, I know how it feels. I know what it does to you.
If I go back toward my childhood coming up, my parents didn't raise me. I was raised by my mother's older sister until I was 14. And then I went back to stay with my parents, you know. And my father used to drink at the time, and he was kind of a rough man. So I had a whole lot of animosity toward him at the time. My family, him and my mother.
When my sisters and my brother, they were going vacations and trips, I was always left behind. I felt that I would do what I wanted to do. I was missing out on something. I wanted to get high instead of being part of the family tradition of going out.
I have a sister. She's just one Thanksgiving. I didn't even. Well, she didn't even know it was me at the gas station. She pulled up to get some gas, and she didn't even know it was me until one of my great nieces saw me and told her, says, "Aunt Gwen, that's Uncle Greg." I recognized her, but she didn't even know it was me. And when I seen her cry, and that's one of the reasons why I stayed away from like I said, it was the shame. I stayed away from my family.
When I was using drugs, I didn't care who I hurt, I did things that my parents wouldn't, I couldn't dream of doing at the time, and my parents wouldn't dream of me doing that because of the way I was brought up.
I came home after my last incarceration, which my last incarceration was approximately 2 years. But a lot of things changed during that time. I realized finally that I could no longer stand the consequences of my drug usage and my criminal activity. When I was finally released, I was really determined to try to make a difference in my life.
I began to realize that there's a better way to life than the way I was living.
Things just really began to change for me for the first time in my life. I really decided that I wanted to stop using drugs.
I got tired of keep going back and forth to jail and just drinking, and I just got tired of being tired.
by being in Kairos, I wasn't on the street doing drugs or nothing like that, because there's no way I could have been this clean if it wasn't for the program. And being in the program has gotten me back in touch with my family.
I'm living life on life's term these days, you know. I'm feeling good about myself, you know. I got my family back in my life.
Well, I hadn't seen my daughter in 40 years. I mean, she didn't know how, but she found my son on Facebook. His name was Irvin also. And she asked, because he lived in Arlington, Virginia, she asked, was he any by chance related to the Irvin Johnson? He said, yeah, that's my father. So those two never met each other before.
Oh, wow.
So she called me. After he gave her the number, she called me. She said, look, Dad, I'm coming down there tomorrow. Talked to her one day, and there she was at my house the next day.
I'm quite sure you was happy to see her.
Oh man, you just don't understand the emotion I was.
How old was she when you last saw her?
3 years old.
3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's
43.
43 years old. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
The best thing that really happened was between me and my father before he passed, that we got to be friends again, you know.
Seems like everything's working along as planned. I mean, all the pieces are falling together. I don't see nothing needs to be changed or added. The scenery is nice in the background.
You know, once you start editing, you might want to put in that frame, you know.
Yeah.
That's an idea, though, you know.
And like you said, with the scenery, with somebody talking, you can even have there, you ain't really got to have it on them or whatever, but you might be there, just them singing to other, to other backgrounds.
Scenery,
I don't regret it today. I accept, you know, I have to accept the way my life went. Because, you know, I can't live in the past.
One of the things that helped keep me in this program is one of the sayings that they have, and that sticks to me all the time, and that's acceptance. Acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I'm disturbed, it is because I found some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact in my life unacceptable to me, and I can find no serenity. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as to what needs to be changed in me and my attitude. This program is, you know, it's mostly about change. Now, I started out at Christ House across the street. I was over there for a couple of months, and I moved over here to an apartment in Kairos House, which is a part of Christ House. And ever since I've been over here, you know, I've been through a lot of medical problems, you know, and a lot of them, they've been difficult, but I found none of them, you know, enough to make me want to go back out, because my life here is like day and night from what it was at the end of my story.
I can look right out my apartment and see the monument straight ahead there, and I have a very good view of the 4th of July fireworks. I remember because I shot what we call as a heroin user was a miss in my neck. I thought that I would never sing again. I never thought I would never talk again. And so I promised the Lord right then and there. I said, if I ever get a chance to sing again, I'm going to sing with all my heart. I'm going to continue to keep singing.
The job means a lot, number one, because see, I was patient on this floor. And first thing I learned back when I got up here was about gratitude. Because I see how these people treated me when I came up in here. I was all broke down and everything. And not knowing 2 years later, I would wind up being staff up here. And I just want to give back to these patients the same way the staff gave to me. You know, it's a everyday thing, but it's a humbling experience when you see people get well and you have something to do with it.
It doesn't get any better than this. But I keep it up front though, I only have today. I only have today.
Finding a community to live in is seemed to be important to me because of my homelessness.
This program is the best thing that happened to me in my whole life. And the community is wonderful, the community.
I tell you, I never ever seen a place like this before in all the walks of my life, man.
And we all look out for each other. So we have to carry each other's load, you know, so we all can survive, you know. And it's beautiful to be able to take your rightful place in your community and be loved by others.
These are it's where God put me, man. God put me at the right time, in the right place, among right people.
I'm happy, you know, and this is the way I say life is good for me. I've been here for almost 2 years, so I'm enjoying life as well as it's supposed to be.
I got hurt in '08, came here the first time. I got hurt in '09 and I was able to come back again. Like I said, I'm just thankful for today. I'm thankful for what we have. I would hope that it would continue on to be good for me as it's been for the last almost 44 months. But only time will tell.
No matter how difficult.
No matter how difficult.
No matter how difficult.
No matter how difficult.
We will succeed and take our rightful place in our community.
I never believed I could have come back to life. I was dead like Jesus, man. I resurrect back. I just happened to come back because of the wonderful people I meet and the treatment I got in Christ's house.
I don't have no bad days if I create some. You know, I can create some bad days.
I have ups and downs, but there's never a bad day because there's somebody always there.
I have a good relationship with my family. I do things now that I only dreamed about. Last year I went on a trip to Costa Rica for 10 days. And when I was drinking and whatnot, I couldn't even make it to Maryland or Virginia.
Sound like you living large right now. You know,
I'm
blessed.
living real big. Living that life like it's golden, golden, golden.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. But that's my story just about, because every day is a beautiful day here in this program. So I'm going to end with that.
Okay.
And thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for letting me share my story with you, and I hope it helps somebody.
Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing.
That's it. I done did my little story short and brief.
Do your 60-minute thing, Mike.
I just thought it was very good interview, very forthcoming and very informative. And thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. It was a pleasure.
The pleasure's mine.
I got eyes and shot.
You don't get his whole body?
No, I don't get the whole body.
I want the whole body, boy.
I want the
Yeah, knowing you, you would.
It is recorded.
It is recorded.
Yes,
I whisper.
You got a mug shot there, boy.
Yeah. And the numbers up under there. Delete it, delete it, delete it, delete it.
Yeah, this would be the lightsaber.
Okay, go ahead. Start over.
I thought
No,
it was
that
filming
was a
too.
practice run.
Yeah, that takes time to get up out of here. And, we've been here a while.